I feel like every half a year or so in the GD community, we'll see a player that jumps to something from like an absolutely ridiculous level that isn't even an extreme demon, and they'll jump to something that's on the demon list, which just doesn't seem possible. But people do it anyways. I don't know how they do it. One that comes to mind in recent memory is the guy that jumped to Slaughterhouse when it was top 10 from 9 circles. I genuinely do not believe that that happened. I still can't wrap my head around how someone can jump to Slaughterhouse when it was top 10 from a hard demon. And while the achievement I'm going to talk about today isn't, as impressive individually, it's the fact that there was actually 2 people who made the exact same jump on the same day, and I want to go over it. This is Solar Flare. It's number 55 on the demon list, putting it decently in the main list category. So yeah, this isn't even an extended list level, this is a main list, super difficult, and it's heavily focused on the wave game mode. In fact, most top players end up beating this level because it's one of the most enjoyed levels on the demon list, I would say, even for people who aren't even at the skill to play demon list levels. They love this level. And I saw that 6 days ago, there was this Korean player who actually was able to jump to Solar Flare from an insane demon. And that just did not make sense to me. I don't know how this guy did it, but it's clear that it's true. He's been playing this for months and months and months. You can see the progress is being consistent. This is such a crazy achievement, and usually I would have maybe covered this, but I was kind of waiting to see if anything bigger would happen in the community, since this was from 6 days ago. It isn't super recent. However, a couple people made me realize that this wasn't the only Solar Flare completion that happened that day. And not only that, it was also another Solar Flare completion that was a jump from a not even an extreme demon. Both of these were from insane demons. And not only that, was this other completion also a jump by a Korean player. Yeah, so 6 days ago, another Korean player, oh yes, one, was able to actually jump to Solar Flare as well. How does that happen on the same day? At first, I didn't even believe it, because as you can see, there's no, videos here at all other than the Solar Flare completion, so I thought, okay, this must be hacked, right? There's no way this is true. He just saw the other guy make the video and then made this. But no, I looked in the video, seems totally legit. And there's also a playlist here that tracks his progress, and it all adds up. He started playing the level, getting 18% as his first progress. This was in fact 11 months ago. And then his last one was getting 85% on the level, and this was after over 110,000 attempts. We'll go over that guy a bit later in the video, but let's first focus on the guy that I saw first and talk about his progress. I'm not even gonna bother try and say the name because that's Korean. Sadly I'm a bean. I can't speak that. But as you can see, this is a jump from Supersonic. So that not only is it crazy that he's jumping from Supersonic, but keep in mind that Supersonic is also on the easier end of Insane Demons, and it's not wave carried at all. Some people may argue it is, but it isn't. I'd say it more focuses on ship gameplay, or just overall. So it's not even a wave level he's jumping from. It's not like the Slaughterhouse from 9 Circles guy. Another funny side completion he did on the side was beating Denouement, which is that really stupid insane demon that's like 3 seconds long. He did Solar Flare, part of Solar Flare on top of it, which is crazy. Now, I don't know why there is a Denouement demon list, believe it or not, which does rank the hardest beaten levels that have Denouement at the start of them. And this level doesn't show up on that list. There's Solar Denouments, but that's a completely different level, so I don't know what's going on there. But it's still a crazy achievement. We can see how lucky this player got, and we can see that he got 100%, obviously. But then, after that, he did die to the 90s twice, which is kind of sad. Because he didn't even die to the 80s at all. He had 75 times 6 and never died to the 80s. Just for perspective here, we go on to the video. Like, here's 75. There's a bunch of wave gameplay here that he just fluked. Like, he just fluked all of it. And then he got pretty much to this last spam. And he sadly died there, which is really sad because after that, it's just pretty much free cube gameplay. Like, this isn't hard at all. And sadly, he just died right at the end, which is kind of disappointing. Yeah, we can see the top 5 best achievements. Solar Flare, and then literally just one insane demon, a couple hard demons, and a medium demon. This was after 146,000 attempts, which, just to put it to perspective, I beat Zodiac in 180,000 attempts, and that wasn't really a jump. Well, it was, but barely. And he's done less attempts jumping from an insane demon. How do you do that? Also, this is the craziest enjoyment thing ever I've ever seen. 3 out of 10 enjoyment on the pre-drop, but 100 enjoyment on the wave. He agrees that it should be 55 on the demon list, which is interesting. I mean, I don't know how he would be able to compare it to other stuff because, you know, he's only beaten Solar Flare. We can see a playlist here showing all his progress. He's a lot more than the last guy, while the other one only showed 7 on the playlist. This is 36, and these are just progressively getting harder. As you can see, started going from 0 around the 5 months ago, and then for that he just kept grinding, and eventually he beat it with 34 to 100 done twice. The other guy also has a bunch of Korean, obviously. I can't read this. I did put it through Google Translate to get an idea. However, I know that that isn't the most accurate thing, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But mostly what this is talking about is that before doing Solar Flare, after just deciding to fully lock in and grind Solar Flare, he did try Prismatic and then dropped that, but then also just tried pretty much every single easy extreme that everyone recommends, but just never ended up wanting to beating them. Like, tried stuff like Sakupin Hell, tried Bloodbath, tried Cataclysm, all these ones that you get recommended, and Hypersonic, I think, was one of the ones listed, and it just something never clicked, but then it kind of just did with Solar Flare. He's one of the players that has grinded a lot of wave stuff, but not like actual rated levels, so this level definitely had more of a chance of him completing it, since, you know, with experience with a wave game mode, doing a level that's all wave wouldn't be as bad, but he still hadn't beat any extreme before this, so it is still a crazy achievement. His hardest before this was Game Time, which is an insane demon. However, it's a very quirky, gimmicky level. It doesn't really help you with anything skill-wise, I would say, in the game, or if it does, it's more just nerve control. So, Game Time didn't really help him too much here. It was really just all the wave practice. He also claims that he beat the Golden as well after this, which I don't know if that's true or not. It shows how gifted he is, if that is the case, or just how much he has progressed in the wave game mode. There isn't any video here to confirm this, but maybe keep an eye on him in the next couple days to see if we get a golden completion. This was after 160,000 attempts, which again, that is less than the other guy, but still, that is for jumping as your first extreme as Solar Flare. Doing it in 160k is super impressive. That is so impressive. Now, I will say, out of the 2 completions, this one is a lot less believable. It seems to be legit, but there is no, like, CPS counter on it, but there is, you know, your FPS counter, your cheat indicator, and a bunch of other stuff that proves it should be legit. It all seems legit, but there is just, like, less history here, so it's harder to tell, and it's just the claim of beating the golden right after in less than a week. But I still believe this is legit, and I think you should go support both these people. He posted this on his YouTube posts, which doesn't look like the demon list at all. I'm gonna assume there's like a Korean demon list, and this is him submitting to that. I may be wrong, but it just seems like that's the case, because I've never seen this before, and I feel like I would have if it wasn't Korean related. The other guy also posted the same thing, so I just do believe this is a Korean demon list that exists that I just have never heard of. I would take this video as a way to just shout out to all the Korean players. Obviously, if you remember, back in the early days pre 1.9, the game was dominated by Korean players. Most Koreans were the ones that made up the player base on mobile, and all of the OG players that you've heard of, like Cyclic, they're all Korean, and they are a massive part of our history in GD, and I want to shout out the ones that are popping off now, because we've been seeing a lot of recent talent show from there, with the current ranked 19th and 17th players both being Korean. I guess there was the time that I also was number 1 on the demon list. I guess I also am a part of this, but I guess if you want to count me. There's also another Korean that's currently ranked as the 38th best in the world, and I haven't even heard of this person. So yeah, go support these people. Something that I do really wonder is, are these people just going to quit the game after? Are they gonna continue playing GD? Or are they just gonna spend so much time on this one level and then burn out after beating it? I do really want to see these people continue to play the game because I think it shows with that much dedication and honestly that little attempts for this form of a jump, it shows a lot of potential. This is one of their alt counts, and as we can see, they have progress on a bunch of other levels as well. Like there's some tidal wave progress here, it's very small, but there's also diamond dance 100%. So that is the first part of the actual hard part, Scoop and Circles. So maybe we'll be seeing Scoop and Circles as the next new hardest, because I mean that is semi-substantial progress for Scoop and Circles. It's not just like any of the free parts. So we could see that maybe. I don't know about the other guy. We're gonna just have to wait for that, the golden completion. But that is all for me. I don't have much more to add here. Thanks for watching all the way. Give support to these guys, and peace.